and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jameson Rabbit, and I am joined today by a man whose CB handle is Barbie's Corvette. His name is Mike Roth.
Yes, that's me and Ken. We have a lot of things in the Barbie Corvette.
Yeah,
we
big
like
fan.
Yeah,
big time fan. This week, sir, we have a few movies on the marquee as we are winding through summer. So let's get started.
All right.
Why don't we? The first one we have up on the marquee is Pixels, the newest movie from Adam Sandler. Directed by Chris Columbus, starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James. We have Michelle Monaghan, Peter Dinklage, Josh Gad, a whole host of cameos and such. But the premise to Pixels is, back in the 80s, we sent things out in satellites trying to make contact with aliens. And one of the things that was involved in that was us and our sweet new video games that we had, and the Pac-Mans and the Donkey Kongs and such were included in this. The aliens received our message, and they took it as a challenge, and they have sent down, they're going to fight us through these video games. We have real live Galaga and Pac-Man and such coming down. Now, in this world, Kevin James is the president of the United States. Let's all just get through that. And the only way to fight these aliens is to get the world's greatest gamers from 1985.
Who happens to be the president's best friend, too, at the same
time. Good thing that Adam Sandler works for the Geek Squad, but is also one of the world's great gamers. He and Peter Dinklage and Josh Gad are called in to save the day, fight the aliens through video games. Yeah.
Well, you know what? If I did not see that this was an Adam Sandler film, I might have been really excited right away. Seeing the previews, I wasn't excited to see this movie at all. I love Josh Gad. I actually thought he was a great character in this movie, but the movie itself really couldn't help anybody. You have Adam Sandler doing his normal Adam Sandler shtick, which isn't really up to date, nor is it as good as he used to do.
His shtick between he and Michelle Monaghan, who is a girl that he's hitting on, and come to find out, she's also a colonel in the military, and she's going to be running this show. And it was lifted out of Billy Madison 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
The same dialogue, the same interaction.
Well, the fact that his best friend is the United States of America also is a little odd. But you got to throw that stuff aside. This is Adam Sandler movie. It's not about believability. It is about the comedy.
Right.
Which did not really come through. You had Peter Dinklage, who did the worst accent. Whatever we've ever talked,
over the place.
I don't even know what he was trying to do.
I don't know why either. Just let Peter Dinklage talk.
What can you compare it to? I really don't know what he sounded like, but I knew it was grating. Every time he said something, it sounded a little different every time he did it.
It was like a British surfer dude.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Where are you going with this? Just talk.
But listening to him was absolutely horrible. The Q*bert character, which came out later, reminded me a lot of Jar Jar Binks, which automatically gets me angry. It was terribly written. The only good thing about this movie, I thought, was seeing these old video games.
Well, that's the selling point of the movie.
But I could watch Where Were They in the, early 80s or whatever and see all these video games.
I mean, there was the problem, I think the biggest problem with this movie was that every character interaction was just horribly weak. You say it was written just horribly. Sorry about that. It was written horribly. Boom! That was an agreement sound. Especially the dynamic between Sandler and Michelle Monaghan. Kevin James was just laughable. And unfortunately, not in a good way. Like laughing at you and not with you. Because his portrayal as, the president, and that was not good.
He was actually a forgettable character. When I look back at the movie, I see Peter Dinklage, I see Josh Gad, I see Adam Sandler. That's pretty much it. And the horrible Q*bert character that I want to erase from my memory forever.
Now, see, I mean, the big thing is, the selling point is the source material for this, is getting to see Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and all of these Frogger, and once it really starts to explode in the climax, you can see all these kinds of characters together. That's what it was, and a lot of that is just playing off nostalgia, you know. And for me, the nostalgia worked a little bit. I enjoyed seeing those characters. I enjoyed very little else. I enjoyed Josh Gad a lot. I'm a sucker for that guy right now, though.
Did you enjoy Dan Aykroyd's pitch for his vodka that he makes?
Dan Aykroyd will shill for anything.
Yeah, apparently, he said, "Yeah, I'll do your movie. Just let me put in my bottle of vodka."
Poor Dan. There was a lot of weird cameos throughout here. But you know what? For me, this movie is beginning trashed critically.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, horrendous reviews for this movie. For me, there's a scale of Sandler movies, and on the scale of personally like a Wedding Singer, and then a That's My Boy down here, a Jack and Jill, The Cobbler, all these things. I don't think it's down with these. It's nowhere near the good ones, which seems so long ago right now. But I don't think it was as bad as some of the worst we've seen. Now, some of the worst Sandler is some of the worst film, period.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting trashed a little unfairly. I think there's a little piling on when people are saying it's the worst thing ever made.
Oh, no.
I mean, I've been reading these reviews of people that it feels like you're just piling on, trying to get people to click on your thing. We're like, this is the biggest pile of trash ever put on celluloid.
No, I don't say it's the worst trash. I've seen the worst trash. We've
reviewed
the worst trash. But should he continue with his movie-making career, I think he needs to stop, have a couple of years off, really think about what he's doing, refocus, and kind of start over. Because I'm really sick of this. This is Pixels, and then we had the Mall Cop. Which,
I like Mall Blart, though. Mall Blart, Paul Cop.
Paul Cop.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, what did you end up giving Pixels?
I give it a 1. I thought it was extremely deserving of that 1. If I'm only going to see something so I could see video games, which I could see online or actually play them myself, that's pretty sad.
I ended up giving it 2 stars.
Wow.
Still below average, but I had fun. There were moments I had a lot of fun with the video games showing up.
Did Dan Aykroyd give you some of his vodka?
Possibly. What really kind of surprised me, though, was this movie is aimed at an audience our age, conceivably, because the young kids don't know a lot of these things. And it's referenced in the movie that you're too young, you don't know what these are. But my kids really enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun because Sandler is poo-poo caca humor. So they had a lot of fun, but they enjoyed it. So I thought that was a decent crossover of that. And I enjoyed Josh Gad, but overall the movie, it's below average. I don't think it's terrible.
Not to, I try really hard to try to keep outside things from affecting my reviews, but also I was sitting right next to a lady who really loved any political satire, and every time Adam Sandler said something somewhat political, like, "Oh, the kids nowadays just don't go outside." She would just, yes,
so true.
Oh, true, exactly, yes, and I would just like roll my eyes every time. It's like, I've seen many memes that said the same thing. It's goodness gracious. But
moving on, sir. The next movie on the marquee. What do you got?
Well, I have Paper Towns. If you are a 15-year-old girl, you probably know this movie very well. It's a book by John Green. Did Fault of Our Stars last summer. Huge hit. What we have here is we have a boy named Quentin. He loves the girl next door. She's this mysterious beauty. And as they get older, they kind of separate. By the time they get into high school, she's part of the popular crowd. He's part of the nerdy crowd. One night of craziness, she comes over and asks him, "Hey, can I borrow your car?" Well, he doesn't have a car, so essentially he has to steal his mom's car so they could go around and commit a lot of felons. At the end of the felony, she disappears, and that's when he realized that his crush on the girl next door is true love, and he looks for the clues to find her. It becomes a coming of age where him and his other kind of geeky friends decide to pile in the mom's van, and they are going to find Margot. Road trip to find Margot. This movie can be looked at in 3 parts. The first part is the whole setting up where Quentin is loving Margot, and then they have this crazy little felon criminal thing that they did.
Their night of craziness.
Actually, that part is terrible. It's terribly written, and it's not believable. I cannot see Margot's character being a beautiful, mysterious person. I find her as just extremely crazy and selfish. So I can't buy into that first part. The second part is the mystery, which is, again, terrible. It's things didn't line up at all. There's huge holes in this mystery thing. She was lucky that they even had an idea where to go. Where it got good was the road trip, and I really think they should have focused on this because these characters were actually great actors. Nat Wolff plays the main character. He portrays to me as a kid. He's actually in his 20s like all these actors are, but I really believed he was a freshman in high school, and I really believed his friends were actually his friends. The way these guys interact together was amazing, I thought. When it came down to the road trip, I'm not going to tell you more about it, but in the end of the movie, which is very odd for me, where I really hate a movie in the beginning, and then I really like it at the end, it's very confusing. I don't usually have that reaction to movies. In the end, I actually kind of forgave all the things I disliked in the beginning of the movie because I thought, wow, this actually had a message I wasn't expecting. I thought this was going to be very cookie cutter, and it turned out interesting and likable in the end.
That's interesting that you say that. Because I agree with you that I enjoyed all the actors. I love the characters for the most part. I loved Q, I loved Ben, I loved Radar, and Lacey, all of them that went on the road trip together.
Yeah.
It was fun, especially the three guys who kind of had a really interesting relationship. And there were moments in the movie where you're like, why are these guys even friends? Nothing in common. Like, they're always fighting. But I agree, when they went on the road trip, it was a great time. For myself, the one person that I couldn't stand in this movie, it was Margot. And I don't care for the actress.
And that was
Cara Delevingne, I do not like. In everything that I've been seeing her in, I don't understand why she's suddenly getting kind of shoved at us as some great young up-and-coming actress.
But that's the beauty of the last half of the movie, is she is not in it.
Right. Very much so. And it's kind of interesting, though, because we agree that the road trip was obviously the best part, and it's a lot of fun. But for me, the end of the movie, it fell apart for me.
Really?
It left a weird taste in my mouth at the end, where I'm like, it just, I don't know.
I thought it was kind of lesson learning. And that's what I didn't want to see the cookie cutter ending that I was expecting.
Felt a little too, I don't know what the word is for it, a little, I can't even come up with a word to describe what it was. It felt a little too cute at the end. That I just
all of his
drove me nuts.
Definitely lifted off of some 80s teen films.
It was funny because, like you said, coming from John Green and the huge success of Fault in Our Stars, when I went to see it, the crowd was nothing but teenage girls, and then this guy right here, and there's a cameo in there from the young man from Fault in Our Stars, and the audience just went nuts. There were squeals coming from the crowd.
The same thing happened to me, and I did not see Fault in the Stars, so I just assumed, well, that's got to be where he's from.
It was so great. So he got that coming. But I enjoyed it. It wasn't breaking any new ground in the teen romance series. I liked, a little bit of the mystery and the chase trying to find Margot and such. I ended up giving it 3 stars. Yeah. It's a good movie.
I would give it 3 stars also. If you wanted me to divide it up and say, okay, the beginning is 1.5, and then we go into maybe 1, but in the end, I really liked how it was shot, how these characters developed, and it wasn't just the 3 guys I enjoyed. I also enjoyed Radar's and Angela's relationship. I enjoyed Lacey, how she gets in with Ben a little bit, and you get to watch these relationships bud. And I thought that was really believable and likable. I enjoyed the end of the movie. take it for what it is. If you are going to see this
Mike's
movie,
a 15-year-old
I already
girl.
know you are going to. I mean, it's going to be for you or not for you, but.
There you go. The final movie we have on the marquee this week is Southpaw, directed by Antoine Fuqua and written by Kurt Sutter. You might know Kurt Sutter from The Shield, Sons of Anarchy. And this movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Rachel McAdams, Forrest Whitaker, 50 Cent, and a young girl I've never seen before named Una Lawrence, who plays Jake Gyllenhaal's daughter. Jake Gyllenhaal is Billy Hope. Billy is the light heavyweight champion of the world, and he and his wife Rachel McAdams wants him to quit, wants him to just stop. It's a very, I mean, it's a not breaking any new ground as far as a boxer story.
Yeah.
His eye, he's going to lose his eye. Maybe, this is the Rocky story.
Yep.
His wife wants him to stop. What do you have to prove? You need to knock it off. He can't. He's getting called out by the guy who wants his title. He can't stop fighting. He's got the anger within him that's kind of driven him. We find out that they met while they were both in an orphanage. And so that he
Him and
has
his wife?
this, yeah, they both met in an orphanage. They've been together ever since. You see in the trailer, it is the plot of the story that he loses his wife early on. Tragically, she passes on. He's got to raise his daughter. He loses everything, and there's a lot of the cliches of Rocky and other previous boxing movies, but Jake Gyllenhaal's performance elevates the material. I don't think it was anything great in the writing, but his performance as Billy Hope, as a man who lost everything. He's just a flawed person who gained everything and lost everything through his violence and has to fight his way literally and figuratively to kind of regain what's really treasured to him. He was just phenomenal. His daughter, played by Una Lawrence, the moments between them were just spectacular. I mean, really great. Forrest Whitaker plays this old trainer who really doesn't want to mess with Billy Hope, and he's trying to make a comeback. And there's great back and forth between them. Their interaction. He plays a great counterpart to Jake Gyllenhaal. The great thing about this movie, though, is it is shot absolutely beautifully. The cinematography is just beautiful. And that's kind of a hallmark of Antoine Fuqua, his movies. He has great movies, he has terrible movies. I think he's all over the place.
Very much like Adam Sandler.
But they're always beautiful. Whether the story always connects, sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't, but they're always beautiful. The fight choreography I thought was great. That can make or break a boxing movie. And I thought the fight choreography, the way it was shot, that was really great.
How would you rate that through? You have different Rockies, the beginning Rocky.
I don't think the fight choreography
Rocky.
in Rockies are anything spectacular.
Really?
They're really, I mean, you see them missing by 5 feet in a lot of them.
True.
It's no great, and they're the no defense, just throwing haymakers. But it is, there's always, here's our trick, you go southpaw at this point, or blah, blah, blah. That's been used before.
Yeah.
It's not about the story of the boxer. It's not a boxing movie. It's a movie about a man who is losing everything, and boxing is just what he does and what he's going to use to get everything back. And it's just, it's something that Jake Gyllenhaal has become one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And he brought this patience to the role, and he brought this depth to his character of Billy Hope that could have been, this movie could have just been cookie cutter. We've seen this 1,000 times. But his performance really elevated, and it's better than the movie itself. The movie was good. His performance was great. And really everybody's performance in the movie was, except for Fitty. Fitty was terrible.
He was on Some Prairie recently, by the way.
50 Cent was, yes. Yep. He's on hard times right now. Talking about shilling vodka. There's a guy shilling vodka right now. But all in all, I really, really enjoyed this movie. As far as the great boxing movies go, it's up there. It's up there because it was shot so beautifully, because the fights do look great. And I mean, this guy, he's going through the ringer getting in shape for these movies. You go from Nightcrawler, where he I mean,
Yeah.
he's got those sunken eyes, and he's got just this.
And it's amazing how much he has transformed since then. This was just last fall. Nightcrawler
Right.
came out.
Yeah, and he was scrawny and just feral looking,
Sick.
and just a guy who's been living on the street, living in his car, meal to meal. And here he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
There are moments where after he loses his wife, there's some moments where he and his daughter, he doesn't know what to do. He's lost everything, and he has to fight to keep his daughter. There's moments between he and a social worker that are just heartbreaking, where I mean he's lost it and he's debating whether he can go on. I was blown away. I was blown away by it. I gave it 4 stars. The only knock on it is that the writing itself was nothing spectacular. I was hoping for a little more in that department.
I kind of regret not seeing this movie. The way the movies lined up, I had to see
Saw the
Pixels
good ones.
and
Right.
Paper Towns. I would have rather have missed Pixels, but
It's just the way it works.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I highly recommend Southpaw. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. Hedging on 4.5, I enjoyed it. So that's one to check out for sure. Talking about boxing movies, though, I think it's time we take a look back. Well, a little movie throwback at one of the all-time great boxing movies.
Real Steel.
Real Steel. No. Take a look back to 1980. One of the great boxing movies, Raging Bull. Raging Bull, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Kathy Moriarty. And this is the true life story of Jake LaMotta, the heavyweight champion of the world at one time, and is played by Robert De Niro. This is a movie that was a comeback movie for Martin Scorsese. Scorsese was washed up as a director on his way out of Hollywood. De Niro had been looking for someone to do this LaMotta story for a while, and he says, and he and Martin Scorsese worked before, on Mean Streets and such. He's like, do this movie. Let's do this movie. They lucked out. They discovered Joe Pesci. This is the first movie that Joe Pesci was ever in. Discovered him, led to a great relationship and a great duo between De Niro and Pesci. Last year when we talked about our great film duos, that was on my list of guys working together as these brothers. And you want to talk about dedication to a role? We say Gyllenhaal got in great shape for this.
Yeah.
De Niro got in boxing shape to look like Jake LaMotta, and then to bookend the movie, we get a modern Jake LaMotta telling his story.
Yep.
De Niro said, give me 6 months. I'm going to put 60 pounds on. I'm not putting no fat suit on. I'm going to gain the weight. Put 60 pounds on. Let's get back and film the rest of it. I'm also working on a role myself.
Yes,
That's why
I can't do it that quick. I just gained a lot of weight, and I'm going to stay that way until I get my part.
Right. But it's a great story. Shot in black and white.
That's always like a hallmark of something really interesting. You got, with color film, you don't have to do black and white. You do it for
Purpose.
Yeah.
It was really effective. It's rewatching this, I'm just blown away. It's one of the most beautifully shot movies. Scorsese just does an amazing job of using the camera, especially in the ring, but in the apartments and everything, to almost as a character. Like you're there with him. It gets the confines of everything, the physicality, the practicality of being there. Really great, beautifully shot.
Do you feel sad that the 2006 sequel of Raging Bull did not come?
Oh, and that was going to star William Forsythe. Oh my goodness!
I guess they're still fighting about it.
Well, we kind of got it when De Niro showed back up for Grudge Match with him versus Stallone. That was dubbed as Raging Bull versus Rocky. It wasn't really, but that was, you get these two over the hill fighters. Raging Bull, though, excellent movie, excellent. For me, the best boxing movie ever made.
Where can you find this?
I have it on Blu-ray if you want to come over and borrow it. Available, not streaming on Netflix, unfortunately, but we'll see. But yeah, go check Raging Bull out if you haven't seen it. Beautiful, beautiful. But let's take a look what is coming out soon before we get going. The weekend of August 7th.
Okay.
We have 4 movies coming out that weekend, sir.
Huge.
Full house.
I know one you are really looking forward to.
Oh boy, I can only guess. The first one we have is the Fantastic Four. That will be coming out. No, not the one you think of. Yeah, Fantastic Four will be coming out that weekend. The reboot of the franchise, hoping to restart this thing.
I'm really looking forward to it.
We'll
And it
see.
sounds like they're going to kind of meld into the X-Men world.
Well, that's what Bryan Singer is hoping. But there's no saying that he will because there needs to be an agreement between studios to make this happen because they're both owned by separate studios. So
See,
I think a lot of it depends on what Fantastic Four does at the box office that weekend, determine whether they want to mix in together. But
well, I would love to see Marvel do 2 franchises, one, with an advanced spread for their X-Men.
They've already got time travel, in the X-Men. So you can do a lot of things now that time travel has been introduced as just a regular thing.
Oh, it looks like they might be ending that really soon. If you're in the comic book world, the Secret Wars are destroying all these little things.
Continuity is gone.
It's all gone. Dr. Doom has took all these time things and put them all in one world. They're all eating each other with zombies and Ultrons. It's a mess.
Unbelievable.
It's a mess.
The next movie coming out that weekend is Mike's favorite movie, and that is Ricky and the Flash.
I know, that was the movie I was thinking for you.
This one stars Meryl Streep as Ricky, I'm assuming, or maybe the Flash. I don't know.
She'll win
one or the other.
We're nominated
She
at least.
is the Flash. Yes, it is the family drama of the weekend. The next movie we have that weekend is The Gift, starring Jason Bateman.
Looking forward to this one a lot. I've been looking forward to it since I saw the first preview of it.
Nope.
I like Jason Bateman.
Bit of a suspenseful movie.
Yeah, it looks good.
Little Cape Fear action going on.
I'm hoping.
Don't bully
Cape Fear
people.
is a pretty bold statement.
I'm just saying. That's what they're shooting for. The last movie coming out that weekend is Shaun the Sheep, the movie. The Shaun the Sheep movie, from the people who brought you Wallace and Gromit.
Yep.
It's very, very reminiscent of a Wallace and Gromit feature, so if you enjoy those. It looks cute.
Yeah.
Bunch of sheep going into the city.
No, I think they're funny.
Yeah. I enjoy them. I think you either like them or you hate them. With that style.
Yeah, it's either you like them or you're wrong.
It's like Mr. Bean. Like either you like him or you
He's
just
great.
hate him, right? Well, there's no middle ground though.
Actually, there's some people out there who can't understand the English accent, which doesn't make sense because
He doesn't talk?
It's English.
Because Mr. Bean doesn't talk?
No. Oh.
Look out. Next episode, we will be bringing you our discussion on Vacation.
Yes. Looking
I
forward
can't
to
wait
it.
to talk about that movie. And no spoilers. And Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Looking forward to both of them.
Yes, sir. But before then, we would all, of course, like to thank our sponsor, Marcus Theaters, The Palace, here in beautiful Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Thank you for sponsoring Real Reviews. We do appreciate it. If you want to get in contact with us, find anything that we're doing, anything like that, you can find us on Facebook. You can look up Real Reviews TV, find us there. You can go on to the Twitter, search at Real Reviews TV. Chit chat with us on there. You can go on to...
You could go onto YouTube. If you have a Ricoh device or something, you want to watch us on your TV, you can find our current episodes on YouTube. You could also, brand spanking new, we have a radio station in Sun Prairie. If that's where you're watching it. 103.3. You will hear...
103.5.
Oh, 103.5.
It would come in real scratchy if you went the other way.
103.5. Check us out there. We're on every once in a while.
Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. So, please do all of those things. Find us, chat with us. We do enjoy interacting with everybody. We've been getting some nice interactions on Twitter. It's been a lot of good fun. So until next week, though, when we talk about Vacation and Rogue Nation. Ooh, that rhymes.
Yes, it did.
My name is Jameson.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.